It is an absolute crying shame that not everybody in their life gets to go to Las Vegas. I turn to my long-suffering wife, Marie. Hi, honey.
Hi.
Now, you in Las Vegas, you're good. You guys go way back.
I've been to Vegas multiple times. Each time has been its own different adventure, and every time was for like a different reason, either like a conference or just going on vacation, or one time some friends invited us, and then you and I have gone because of conferences, and you used to live there.
Yeah.
So.
It's lots of fun. It's a good time. And here's the deal. A lot of people, they think everything's like, it's like Casino and it's gritty, or it's Showgirls and it's stylish, and what's the Vince Vaughn movie?
One of my all-time favorite films, Swingers.
Yeah.
With Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
And what's his name?
Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau, yeah.
Yeah.
And they do the whole bit. I mean, they play it up going to Vegas, and he's like, "Your money, and you don't even know it. Vegas, baby." And I'm like, "Yes."
Yeah, but point out once again, Vince Vaughn has never made a bad movie ever. I defy you to name one. So what we've done is that since we've gone multiple times, normally we structure a show around an individual trip. This time, since I've actually lived in Las Vegas for 2.5 years, you and I have both been there multiple times, we decided, you know what, we're going to structure this a little bit differently, or we're structure it based on other movies.
Yeah.
So like, for example, category number 1, wild fun stuff as exemplified by movie. This has got to be The Hangover, right?
Oh, yeah. Debauchery, just like pandemonium at its finest. Things that can happen in Vegas when you just go all out crazy.
Absolutely fun stuff. And then the things that don't work out so well. Nicolas Cage in Leaving Las Vegas, a little bit sad here.
Oh, it's sad, but it's such a good movie, such good performances, such good characterization, and just it's a character-driven movie.
Right.
It was an independent film, and it is sad, but it is so good. But yeah, that would represent the sad stuff that you don't want to do in Vegas.
You don't want to do in Las Vegas, so we're going to cover that as well, in fairness. And then number 3, if you had all the money in the world and a limited time frame and a huge budget, let's blow it out. That movie, of course, is Last Vegas.
Yes, and I remember we saw that in another country.
We saw it in Latvia.
And I was like, oh man, if we ever go back and I'm their age, that's exactly how we're going to do it.
So that is what we're talking about today. We're going to encapsulate the good, the bad, and not the ugly, but if you blow it out, but we're going to take a look at all of these things in our special Vegas baby. That's Marie over there.
That's Frank.
Voca Vacay starts right now.
Prepare yourself for the bestest, amazingest, and overall super duperest travel program in the history of ever. Vacation like it's your job and live vicariously through yourself. It's time now for Voca Vacay.
All right.
And every single time we do an episode, we give a shout out to our newest and bestest buddies who have joined us in our ever expanding global empire that is Voca Vacay. And our 3 new countries this episode are as follows. We've been to one of these.
Oh, good.
Malta.
Yes.
We actually did a show called We Halta for Malta. And I had a lot of fun with that show. And now they're listening to us. I guess they forgave us for that episode. Georgia.
Oh.
Yeah, Georgia, the country, not the state. Everybody's like, oh, Georgia listens to you now. No, dude, the country Georgia listens to us now. It's a totally different thing. And Zambia.
Oh.
In South Central Africa, Zambia.
I never thought we'd get such cool exotic countries.
Yeah.
Like, this is very cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, so welcome as always, and you can find us on all the social media. Of course, the mothership, which is vocavacay.com.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to us now, that means you want to hear about Las Vegas.
Yes.
And our adventures there. Just as a quick background, I did used to live there. Absolutely true. I taught at UNLV, University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Yes, I was a faculty member there. And so I went there for a couple of years.
They'll just hand that out to anybody, won't they?
Oh, yeah, you can. The standards are shockingly low. I had no idea, actually.
Stop it. You're amazing.
But I lived in Las Vegas for a couple of years, so I had that perspective as well. Then, of course, we've also been there multiple times. I can't even think of how many times we've been to Las Vegas for conventions or meetings or just for pleasure or to go see a concert or what have you.
Right.
We've been there more than once. So we're structuring this where it's like, okay, what's the good, the bad? But there are a couple of caveats before we get into that. And these are things that people need to know. Just some basic tips.
Yeah.
Before we really go into Las Vegas. Number 1, Las Vegas is in a desert.
Oh, man.
And it gets hot.
It gets hot, and then at night it gets cold.
Yes.
And in between, well, just all the time, it's just dry.
Yeah.
Like, I am really sensitive in my, I guess my heritage.
Your Irish roots.
And so temperature and then dryness. Those are like the two things. Like I'll get thirsty easier, it seems like, than you or like most people. And then I'll just get like, you know, really humidity affects me too. So humidity or dryness. And so, yeah, it's a struggle.
Yeah. When I used to live out there, literally we would have the weather guy come on at night and he's like, and tonight's low is going to be 85 degrees. I'm not making that up. And that's in the summer. The
That's
winter
too hot
night,
for me.
The winter nights get very cold. It gets really chilly out there.
Oh, no.
And it gets very windy because it's a desert and it's a bowl and, you know, the wind comes through and it's just, ugh. But when it gets hot and stays hot, I mean, we had, you know, like a 3-month period, it got above 100 degrees every single day.
Yeah.
It's a little bit warm, a little bit dry. So that's why we tell you before you start out, a couple of things. Number one, water, hydrate, drink water all the time. If you're staying at a hotel, the smartest thing we've ever done is go to the CVS pharmacy.
Okay, there is a CVS, BT Dubs. It is near New York, New York. It's on the corner.
Right.
I have that on my list. I'm going to mention it now because it's super important.
Yes.
If you can find a CVS that's within the, like, any sort of walking distance of your casino, go buy a flat of water because it's going to cost more in the casino.
Oh, yeah.
But like if you can get that back to your room, it will literally save you.
Yeah.
I mean, you come back, I mean, you're parched, you're drinking, you're walking around, that water is going to save you.
You're going to drink all the water. You're going to need more water than you think.
Yeah.
And if you take a Lyft or an Uber or a cab or however you get from the airport or whatever, just say, we're making a stop, pay the extra couple of bucks because it will pay off for you. You're going to need to have a whole lot of water.
And I just mentioned that one CVS because that's the one near where we have literally stayed the most is like probably that corner.
Yeah. And that's the one we always go to and just go, hey, we'll grab stuff there. Other things that you should be taking, you have saline. and this for people, there's something about your nose, they dry out really bad.
I cannot stand it when my nose hurts and it's dry. And because after flying out there, which dries you out anyway, that first night that I go to sleep, I always wake up the next day. I've gotten nosebleeds out there actually. Yeah. And it's so dry. Yeah. And I feel like there have been times where I've hydrated before we've left. And I'm like, it's going to be fine. I'd still get out there and it still affects me. So the saline really helps.
The saline really helps. And then for your skin, and this is lotion, Vaseline, anything you need basically to make yourself a little bit, to protect the elements.
This is a combination of Vaseline and lotion, body lotion, and it helps every time. Just high moisture lotion and Vaseline and mix it together and just slather. Yeah. Just slather it on like you're a lizard and you need it all. So yeah, it really, really does help. I'm just saying.
So anyway, okay, so we have you now, and take a big garden hat. Take a big hat. The thing, and sunglasses, stuff like that.
I've seen people walk around with umbrellas.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I'm saying it gets cold at night and it's hot in the day, and we're talking about being, you know, that's only certain parts of the year. And it's hot most of the year.
Yes.
If you're there on maybe some of these shoulder season like months.
Right.
April in particular.
Yes.
You got to bring layers too, which is a really good tip because it is going to get cold.
Yeah, it's counterintuitive. People think I got to take a jacket. It's like, well, yeah, if you go over Christmas, something like that, it does get cold there. Yeah. It really does. And the final thing is sunglasses. I'm one of these rare people, by the way. I never wear sunglasses.
I know.
I never wear sunglasses.
I don't know how you do it.
I just don't.
My sensitive little eyeballs.
Oh, no, my eyeballs. Oh, my goodness. Oh, it hurts my cornea.
God, I sound like an old woman. I'm like, my nose, my skin, my eyes. What am I going to do?
I love you, baby. But here's the deal. Seriously, you're going to a desert environment. And people are like, hey, Las Vegas is all good. Guys, you go outside of Las Vegas, 15 miles in any direction. You know what you're in? Desert.
Right.
Okay, so don't expect, all sorts of foliage. You got to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Once you get there, now the party starts. Now start thinking of the hangover. Because there's initially when we started this, I was thinking, we ought to make this nice, sweet, petite, and just do 5 things that we recommend that you do.
Right.
We couldn't stop at 5.
No, and I will say this. We are going to run down some things and we're not going to be maybe as detailed as we've been about some other places and some things that we've done just because there's so many things to do.
Oh, yeah.
And so this is just like our top hits list.
Yes.
Or our top wants list. Like we're just going to kind of run it down.
Yeah. And there are some things that we'll do. It's like, oh yeah, we want to do that, or we've done that. And it's great. And so we mentioned, say, restaurants you should go to. it's not like a comprehensive list because Las Vegas has a couple thousand restaurants.
Oh my
we haven't been
gosh.
to all. I like to eat, but come on, I have my limits. So what we're going to do is just say, here are things we recommend that you do.
And like the ones that we do talk about, I'm positive we haven't remembered all of the ones that we've gone to. So these are just the ones that I'm like, oh yeah, that we remembered them for this show.
Well, that's the thing is that
Yeah.
if it sticks in our mind, it sticks there for a reason.
For sure.
So that's why
Yeah.
we're going to talk about some of these things. Things we recommend that you do. Number one on our hit list is rent a bungalow that is at the pool. At the hotel. And we're assuming here you're going to stay on the strip because that's where a lot of the hotel rooms are. A lot of the package deals are there. A lot of the stuff is there. So yeah, we're going to stay at the pool. Now we did this once.
We did.
And that was at Bally's.
Yes. And we had just walked down. And it was late April.
Yeah.
So it was warm enough to get in the pool. And I believe the pool was heated. I believe it was.
If not, it was definitely warm enough for us to
sure.
to swim around in because we definitely did that.
But this was not the peak tourist season. It was when we were there for a conference.
Right.
And so, which I blew off. No, I'm just kidding. I did most of what I needed to do. But this day in particular, I was like, I'm conferenced out.
It's Cabana Day.
It's Cabana Day.
We got a bungalow cabana
Hey,
thingy.
look, you've got to make some time for yourself. It's like good self-care. Yeah. And good mental health to do so.
Yeah.
That's an excuse I'm using, and that's what I'm sticking to. But anyway, we went down, and I just said offhand, because it is kind of expensive to rent a bungalow at the pool at any casino.
It is.
But I just happened to ask, and because no one was there, we were literally the only people.
Yeah.
We got a huge discount.
Right.
I think we paid, it was $50. It may have been $80.
I want to say 50.
But I think they're regular, like 150 and up.
Yeah.
We got a deep discount.
Yeah, because...
And it came with a bag of fruit.
Yeah.
Or not a bag of fruit, a bowl of fruit.
It came with a bowl of fruit.
A bag of fruit?
It
was like a fruit basket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had that and, the drinks there and all this stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's like, it was absolutely fine. I remember going up because they had a place in Bally's that had cheap tacos. It's like
Yes.
$1 tacos and $1 tequila shots.
Yes.
Hello?
That might have been what led to not going to the conference that day and then just renting a bungalow. Just saying.
Phoned it in that day.
Yes,
So
I
anyway,
did.
that was one of those things. So we just say, if you get the bungalow
Yes.
cabana thing, when you're looking at your resort that you're going to go to, because they're not just casinos, they're also resorts.
Yes, and I'll say, even if you don't get it at a discount, it's super worth it, especially if you're there with family or just friends, just to rent it, pay the money. Some places you have to buy a food minimum.
Right.
When you
That's
rent
right.
one. This one we didn't, and so it was totally worth it. We had our own little it was our own little oasis in the desert.
Yeah, and it was wonderful. And we were there all day long.
Some of them are fancy and come with their own bathrooms.
Yeah.
And this one, it didn't come with its own bathroom, but it did have its own little area with a TV and like all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
It was just like a cabana. It was hot.
Yeah, we just vegged out. It was
It
so
was
nice.
great.
So high roller living. It's like,
Yeah.
it's actually got a deal on that. Speaking of high rollers, and so some of these things are actually free. I
Yeah.
mean, they range in price. One thing we really encourage you to do, and this is something that I've done. I don't know if you've done this, but I've taken... casinos want you to gamble. It's the darndest thing.
Yeah.
They really want to take your money from you because they're better at than you are. I don't care what your system is. So we said, hey, you know what we ought to do? I'm going to do this. I went and got craps lessons.
Oh, fun.
So, and that's where the craps is the game where you throw the dice and it's like, it's going to be a 7. You hit 7 or whatever. And I actually did this. Now, the thing is, I enjoy playing craps. Of all the games, it's probably the one I like the best.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. When you go to these things, they bring you free beverages.
Right.
So I go walking, it's like, oh, free craps lessons. And so after an hour, I'm like, I don't remember any of this. Have you taken any poker or roulette or any lessons like that?
I like roulette. I've not taken lessons. I play the outside of the board. I like to play it on the hair. I like to bet on red.
Right.
So, and I like roulette. Sometimes I play the numbers. I've not taken a lesson. I was in a previous life in a previous relationship, someone that loved poker.
Right.
I've spent a good amount of time watching poker. I've not taken poker lessons, but I have seen some people win some big money in poker.
Yeah.
Texas Hold'em. So yeah, I mean, that's fun. Look, even if you don't take a lesson, you can go and you can watch people play.
Right.
And that's kind of fun too.
Well, let's put it this way. Every time you and I play poker or whatever, I don't last 3 hands. I really don't. You destroy me at poker.
I'm Sharky.
it's really bad. By the way, Scrabble is worse. I've never beaten you in Scrabble.
Honey.
No, you hammer me at these games. So anyway, but if you want to learn how to play it and get free beverages at the same time,
super fun.
And casinos want you to learn.
Yes,
because
they
that
do.
way you'll stay around and play a little bit more.
Yeah.
And you lose as much you're going to lose. We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
Something that will cost the price of a rental car.
Yes.
Now this will take a little bit of planning on your part because you have to leave the Strip. You leave the Strip, you go back to the airport. Now it sounds counterintuitive, but hear us out on this because we did this and it was a blast.
Yeah.
This is one of our best memories ever.
Yeah.
We went back to the airport and the Uber driver that came was like, which airline? It's like, oh, no airline. We're going to rent a car. We went to like Enterprise or Hertz, Avis, one of them, I forget which. And we go there and here's what we did. We rented a car and had our own day trip, which was brilliant. And we went north. And this is one of the advantages of having lived there before. I knew a place called Mount Charleston.
Yes.
Hey, let's take a day trip.
Oh my gosh, you're absolutely right.
I remembered we had that one plugged in. Sorry, I cut you off.
No. Don't worry about that. But yeah, we took a day trip.
Yes, we did.
We drove up. Mount Charleston is north of Las Vegas, so you get in the car and it's a straight shot.
Yeah.
And you just go up there. It's less than an hour drive.
Yeah.
And it is a lot of fun. And it's a totally different world because the elevation obviously is higher. It's cooler.
Yeah.
It's greener. The air is much better.
Ooh.
And you just go, oh, this is nice. And you go hiking.
Oh, it was so great. And it was the perfect getaway from the hustle and bustle.
Mm-hmm.
Some people go and they do the Hoover Dam.
Yeah. You can go the other way.
Yeah, you can do that. I thought this was perfect. And it's very serene.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was lovely. But, oh, man, we were getting up pretty high, too.
Yeah. And
like, I was like, am I starting to get, what's it called?
Yeah, the thing where you get, where you start losing your oxygen deprivation.
It's not that bad, but I thought about it for a second. I was like, oh, we're getting pretty high. But no, it was really awesome. It's one of the most awesome things I think we've ever done together, quite frankly.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was gorgeous.
And me, I just want a jerky,
Yeah.
you know. It's like, how you feeling? Well, nothing jerky won't fix. So, but what you have to do is you have to go out.
Altitude sickness.
That's what it is. Yeah. So what we did is we went out, we rented a car, we drove to Mount Charleston, then took the car back the same day. The guy at the Avis Hertz counter was like, really? It's like, yeah, dude. And he goes, you didn't put any miles on this thing. It's like, no, but we wanted the experience.
Right.
So that is literally the day trip, and it was so much fun.
Yes.
Okay, now let's say
Totally worth it.
Let's say you're not going to take a day trip, though.
Sure.
Let's say you're going to stay on the Strip.
Like, I paid for this casino. I'm going to walk around Vegas.
That's the thing is that there's a lot of Las Vegas that is not the Strip. So let's preface it with that. Because Las Vegas, guys, it's a city. There's, a million whatever. I mean, there's a lot of people there.
Right.
But when you're the tourist, you're basically going to go to the Strip.
Right.
The Strip, we divided for your convenience and ours into 3 sections.
Yes.
And this way, we make it manageable, bite-sized chunks. So if you want to go to these hotels, these casinos, these areas, and we'll tell you some of the highlights that are in these, including the restaurants.
Yeah.
Because you want to eat there.
Yes.
We're going to start at the northern side of the Strip, the northern tip of this thing.
Yes, and can I just say, I don't know if this is later on. I hope I'm not like jumping ahead here.
What you got?
Just be careful. This is another tip.
Okay.
Just be careful because you'll walk around and you'll look up and you'll be like, oh, I'm gonna go to that casino, and you'll see it. It is really deceptive how close things are because they're actually very far away. So just be really cautious that when you say I'm just going to walk from this casino to that one, that it could be 2 miles, 3 miles away. You just don't know.
And no. And Marie, you bring this up at the perfect time because that's why we broke the Strip into sections, because you don't want to say, I'm going to start at Caesars and then walk down to the Luxor. Are you out of your mind? You won't make it there.
Oh, I know.
It is. And it's
That's
just like,
cray.
but just like 8 casinos down. You don't know how big casinos are, for one.
Right.
And for 2, again, it's hot, it's dry, and it's just unbearable. That's why, no, you're absolutely right. You want to take this thing in sections, in chunks, and you want to know where you're going in advance instead of just wandering off and saying, I'm going to start at Mandalay Bay and go down to the city center. No.
Right.
Champ, you don't want to do that.
And bring good walking shoes.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
know that some people want to wear their heels.
Don't.
And that's fine.
Don't.
But we'll call this the New Orleans principle. We just talked about this
Yeah.
in the last show.
Don't do it on cobblestones, and don't do it where there's great deserty distance in front of you.
You might just want to take an Uber or a Lyft.
Yeah.
If you're going to wear high heels for the night and
That's
just
true.
Uber and Lyft around.
That's true.
Yeah.
So here's what happens. The northern part, let's start with Treasure Island.
Yes.
Because there's some things there. Treasure Island, the big thing about them, and this is an evening thing, they have this pirate battle that happens. It's this great thing that happens outside.
Super fun.
It's a lot of fun. Take the kids. It lasts, maybe 10, 15 minutes, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's an absolute riot.
Yes.
And they do this all the time. So Treasure Island, that's up there.
Yep.
The Venetian is up there as well. And the Venetian has the gondolas.
Oh, that's what I want to do.
Yes.
Oh, anyway, the
Jumping
Venetians, and it's beautiful. You walk in and everything's painted, and it's that old Baroque, like Italian, like it's just amazing, and it just looks awesome. And it's got that faux sky.
Yes.
With the, how they do a faux sky. I don't know how they do that.
I don't know, but they do a great job
It's an
there.
optical illusion. It almost looks like it's moving.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's very cool.
The Venetian is beautiful.
Very
Flat out,
beautiful.
it is.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you walk in and you're just going to be gawking the whole time like a
Yes.
tourist because you're going to be like, "Well, I've never seen that." No, you haven't, and that's absolutely okay.
Yeah.
So, do you want to talk about some of the restaurants we're going to have in this area too? Because I
Yeah,
know there's
sure.
other great things that we can eat while we're up there. We're going to get hungry because Harris is up there too.
Right.
And we also have the Link Promenade is up there.
The Link is that big. It looks like they call it in London. They call it the Eye, I think, or
Yeah.
it's that big Ferris wheel thing with the bubbles.
Right.
Some of them have bars in them. Like it's really cool.
Oh, we'll be taking that one. Thank you so much.
Yes. And so it's just that it's a ride, and it goes around. It's huge, and you can overlook the whole city. And they have them in really big cities.
Yeah.
As like an attraction to
Yes.
just see the city.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one's the Link, and the Link Promenade has a bunch of restaurants.
Yes.
And we've been to some of these, and some of these I hope to go to.
And they're all really good. The ones we've been to have been just perfect. We
Oh.
like these a lot.
Yes. So we went to Ghirardelli.
Ghirardelli.
I said
Yeah.
Ghirardelli.
Whatever.
Ghirardelli.
They'll
because
forgive us.
You love chocolate.
I do.
Yes. And also Hash House a Go-Go is there. And I just have to say, Hash House a Go-Go, if you're looking for big portions and really delicious food, you have to go to Hash House a Go-Go.
You're not fat, you're well-rounded.
Because you're going to come out of there going, oh my God, chicken and waffles the size of my head.
We ordered once. We're
Oh my
like, we didn't
God.
know what Hash House a Go-Go, how seriously they took their dining. We go in there
Yeah.
and they had the chicken and waffles. So what they do is they have the biggest piece of chicken you've ever seen and the biggest waffle you've ever seen, and they're stacked together, and there's a knife just impaling them down like a Viking is going to eat this, like, oh, my waffle and
Yes.
my chicken, bam, and it had it. I'm like, holy moly, we couldn't finish this if we tried. I think we each got one.
Yes.
Stupidly enough.
I
Hash House
know.
a Go-Go, yeah, I'd highly recommend.
So good. They do the deep fried pieces of spaghetti there too, which are really fun. Oh my God. They decorate all the plates with them. Super awesome.
We love that. So that's up there. Or is there other
yeah.
food dining in that area?
We
What
had
got?
beers at the Tilted Kilt.
Oh, yeah.
And that was really yum. And then they have the Yard House, and that's also beer. Then they have Gordon Ramsay's Fish and Chips. That's the one. I want to go to that.
Yeah.
I hope it's still open. I don't know.
Yeah.
We have to look.
Well,
because
Gordon
everything
Ramsay's-
kind of changed because of COVID.
Yeah, but Gordon
Yeah.
Ramsay stuff is always good.
Yeah.
And the other big place up there is Caesars. and here's the deal. You can kill a lot of time and spend a lot of money at Caesars if you want to.
You
Because
can.
not just Caesars, they also have the Forum Shops.
Yes.
Which is the big, it's a massively big walking mall with fancy
Yes.
stores in there.
Yes. I mean, they
And-
have some of these, like down, we'll talk about this later too, like down near City Center, they have them,
Right.
big fancy stores there, but they have just really good stuff to buy if you want to spend money. Like, I don't ever really buy anything. I spend all my money on food and booze.
Which way is the bar?
That's what I save up for. So there you go. That's just me though.
But but you go in there, the Forum Shops are great, and it's also painted. I don't want to say it, the same guys who painted that also did the Venetian,
Right.
But you still have those ceilings, and they're covered with clouds, and they have light shows and fountains and all sorts of stuff. It is just a really cool environment to be in.
Very cool.
So so that's the north end of the strip.
Yeah.
Have we missed anything on the north end? Because there's all sorts of nooks
Well-
and crannies people can go into. We're just giving you the big ones up there.
If you go really north, you'll hit Stratosphere and Palms.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's really north, but we never go up there. So.
We don't go up there, and it's not because it's like we don't go up there. It's like
Right.
Circus. It's just so far up there.
It's so far. And the LVH.
That's right.
It's up there. Yeah.
It's like, there's just a gap there. It's like we've never really wanted to bridge that gap because there's so much stuff going on in the other parts of the strip where we're at.
The crazy thing is that on the strip, there's all the casinos. There's also other hotels.
Yeah.
There's also a convention center.
Yeah.
I mean, it is like the strip is it's no place to be like, I'm just going to take a walk and go from one end of the strip to the other.
No, you're not.
That is never going to happen.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Unless you're crazy.
And we mean this out of safety. Please don't try.
Yes.
I'm going to prove them wrong and walk the entire strip. Guys, you really don't want to do that.
Well,
there's no point to, I guess physically
you could, but the only thing you'd be doing there is walking.
Yeah.
Like, who wants to just go somewhere as fun as that and just walk?
Yeah, you don't want to. That's why we divide this into sections, like the middle section we're approaching now.
Yes.
And the middle section is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's really
we stay here a decent bit.
We do. And so the middle section, let's start let's see. I guess Paris has the Eiffel Tower.
Paris is so amazing, and you can go up, and they have a restaurant up there that I dream to go to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the name of it, but it's kind of pricey. But anyway, we went up there and we watched
the Bellagio fountains.
The Bellagio fountains from up top, and it was amazing.
You can go see the Bellagio fountains that's across the street. That's across the strip. So you can just go to the Bellagio fountains and watch it. In fact, I think it was at Ocean's 11, 12, or 13. It's one of those where at the end they're all standing in front of the fountains.
Yes.
So if you wonder what they look like, that's what it is. It's like you can stand there and be like, hi, look, I'm George Clooney looking at Bellagio fountains.
Yes.
Good for you. However, if you want to go do this, you absolutely can. And it's free. All this stuff is free. So you just stand there and look at the fountains, or you can go up the Eiffel Tower because there's a schedule as to when the Bellagio fountains are going to fire up.
Now, the one restaurant I will say that we've hit a couple of times, it's not even a restaurant per se. Mm-hmm. It's just one of their little eateries in Paris.
Right.
Is the La Crêperie. Oh, we love a good crepe.
Yes.
So yeah, go up, see the fountains, go down, have a crepe.
Yes.
Oh, good stuff.
Again, it's just one of those nice little things like, this is really, really cool.
Yeah.
So you can do that. And, when you're having these things, you're going to come out and now start shifting your gaze until nighttime.
Yeah.
Because if it's nighttime, this is my favorite part of the strip.
Yeah.
It really is. Because you have the fountains going on. You also have, I'm going to look at some of these like the Cosmopolitan, the Aria, and the City Center.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about all these in a second individually. Here's the deal. They all light up at night.
Oh, it's so pretty.
It is a neon heaven. If you're into just walking around and seeing what an outside vibe is,
yes,
you can totally do that there because all the casinos right there, there's something about the dimensions or how they packed in the lights and all that. And also Planet Hollywood's right there. So you have everything is right there. And if you're outside at night, this is an incredible walking experience.
Yeah.
It's not one that you should miss. I mean, if you have any part of the strip you want to go to in the evening, go to that part.
Yes. All right. I'm going to hit some of the food in some of these places because City Center, we've eaten around this area a good bit.
Give me the deets.
I will give you those deets.
Give you the deets. There's all sorts of great restaurants here.
Oh, at the Cosmopolitan, first off, I just have to say a really, really good place to get a drink.
Which way is the bar?
Is the Champagne Bar.
Oh, boy.
It's a very picturesque bar.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the middle of the casino, and it's just dripping in jewels,
Yes.
and you can't miss it as soon as you walk into the establishment, and it is super cool. And Cosmopolitan Casino, or just the establishment, they're known for having a really great happy hour. We've gotten snacks and drinks there for it was pretty cost efficient. I'm not saying we've been there multiple times, but we have. But really, really good bar there.
There are pictures of me from the Cosmopolitan, I believe, where we're at the Champagne Bar, and it's fun how you can see someone's image or look evolve over the course of an evening. And I mean this, it's like watching a Ron White comedy special where he starts the special and he looks one way, and at the end, he's like, and I'm Ron White, that's what's going on here. And he just sort of devolves into a different person.
I'm not saying that your pictures are sad, but they're a little sad.
Oh, God, really?
It's just that
Really
here's
with
the
the
thing.
trombone now?
When you drink, it doesn't take much. You are not a heavy drinker. So you're like having your drink, you're having a great time. And then on drink number 2, you're like, I'm getting a little tired. And you can see it in the pictures. So it's actually kind of funny.
No.
I love this about you.
I am not a tired drinker. I am a fun drinker.
You are.
Until
you get tired.
Yeah, but it doesn't take 2 drinks.
I know. I was just
more
kidding.
than that.
I had to give you a little grief there.
I know. Well, you're going to play the
because with my Irishness, it's like let's start on one drink. Well, 2 hours later, I'm like, you know that meme where it's like, and then you should have gone home, and then it's like a picture of Matthew McConaughey, and he's like, all right. Like 4 hours later, it's like going to the bar at 10 when you should only stay for 5 minutes. 4 hours later, all right. That's me.
Yeah.
So I can't really give you much grief.
Looking outside going, is that the sun?
I know.
Already?
So
when did this happen?
They do that on purpose, though, in casinos.
Yeah.
They totally, like, there's no clocks.
Right.
And they keep it nice and lit in there, so you don't want to see if it's still daylight outside.
Yeah.
And so I guess they keep it kind of dark, but with all the machines and everything. But, like, it's, you don't see any windows.
No,
so
there's
you
no
lose
windows.
track of
There's
time.
no windows. There's no clocks. I wonder if that's on purpose. Most likely is.
It's a ploy. Okay. Back to Cosmopolitan.
Yes.
We went and we had tapas at Haleo's. It's a tapas bar. Mm-hmm. And we also ate at the Wicked Spoon. We both highly recommend those. I think at the Wicked Spoon we had burgers.
Right.
I can't remember, but both were really good. One thing that was awesome about the Cosmopolitan, and it's not there anymore. It used to be called Bond Bar. I think it's just they've renamed it Vesper, or they did a new bar and it's Vesper now, and it might not be in the same place, or they've done Vesper in its place, but Bond Bar was really cool, and you could see it from outside of the strip, and it was all James Bond themed, and they had like actual like live professional dancers, and so that was kind of cool, but it's not there anymore. But we did enjoy that.
Yeah, that was. Anything that's James Bond related is obviously highly recommended for obvious reasons. So,
and I don't know what the new buffet is, but it was Spice Market when we went there, and it was fantastic and amazing.
Yeah, that's one at Planet Hollywood. Planet Hollywood had Spice Market buffet.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. I just remember it very well because it was one of those buffets that was hidden down, and you're thinking Planet Hollywood has a buffet. It was in the basement.
Oh, yeah.
It was one of those things like, here's how we found it and all that. And we went there. It's like, this is one of the best buffets we've ever had.
Well, I was at a different conference that you weren't at, and I did go to the buffet in Cosmopolitan, and it was fantastic. And so I don't remember what it was called, though.
Okay.
I think it was Cosmopolitan. Do they
could
have a buffet?
I believe that. Here's the deal.
It was somewhere in City Center.
Everybody, yeah. And it's all connected over there. Everybody has a buffet. We're just saying that if you want the one at Planet Hollywood, unfortunately, it's closed. And that was the Spice Market.
I know. It was so good.
It was really a huge value.
Since I kind of segued into Planet Hollywood anyway, I will just say other stuff there. The Miracle Mile food court has lots of good bites and drinks. And one time, I was asked to be a participant in a beer tasting, and they paid me like $20. That was like the best ever. So like sometimes they'll have promotions running around there because it's shops and it's eateries and all kinds of stuff to like look at, and it's pretty cool.
Hang on. Everybody, be quiet for a second. No. Listen, I'm hearing the sound of your arm being twisted. Oh no.
Yes.
That's just awful.
It was like this when they asked me. Yes, I will come, drink, and give you feedback on your tasty brews. You have asked the right person, and I am the perfect person to do this. Yes, and I will take your $20.
The angels sing.
Please, twist my arm.
The angels sing. The heavens open, and you're like, whoa, wait. It's a beer tasting, and you're going to pay me?
I know. I think they were like...
How many people did you shove out of the way for this rare opportunity?
I was like jumping over people like it was rugby, like, or whatever. Yeah. Watch out, coming through, Irish redhead, loves beer. Move it. I was elbowing people.
Oh my gosh. I'm dying. I missed this trip, but...
No, it was good. And I think they were just trying to get feedback because they were about to either open in one of the places there, or they were just using that place to get people because they were opening somewhere else in Vegas. I don't know. But yeah, it was kind of awesome. Okay, let me get back to the food.
Okay, back to the food.
Okay, we've eaten at Gordon Ramsay's Burger, which the whole time after we ate there, we were like, burger. Because it was so good. I remember that was the first time I ever had truffle fries.
Yeah.
And of course we had a burger. It was so good.
Okay, hang on. Let me interrupt for a second because the burger was good. The truffle fries were off the charts amazing.
Oh my God.
And here's the deal. I'm not a foodie to the point that I remember a side dish for the rest of my life. But when you give me a French fry, like Gordon Ramsay gave me a French fry at his place, well, he didn't, the waitress did. But you know what I mean? It's like, those were truly some of the best French fries I've ever had in my life, to the point that I remember this, 5 years, 6, whatever, how many years it's been since we had those French fries, and I'm still salivating over them. They were that great.
I didn't even write down anything about them. I can recall off the top of my head, they were fries. They were truffle oiled fries with Parmesan. And it was a truffle aioli. That's exactly what I remember.
Yeah, and I want to say it was like $9 for the fries. It was something like
so
$9. I'm like, seriously, $9? It's potatoes. Like, oh my gosh, you should charge double.
It was so good.
They were exceptional there.
Okay, burger. And then they also have outside of their pinup pizza. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
It was the pinup girls, and they were making pizza. You could just buy it by the slice, or you could buy like a pie, and it was really good. And they were super cute.
Yeah,
so
pinup girls, cute girls serving me pizza.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to forget that anytime soon. On my deathbed, that's one of my cherished memories. What are you talking about?
Now, I will say this, near Planet Hollywood, there's lots of other places to eat, and they're really good, and we should aspire to eat at all of them. But we did not, because we've been busy doing other stuff.
Yeah.
There is, though, I have to say, here is a nice little hack for if you have, like, you can't get into a restaurant, or you just want to get something and take it back to the hotel. We did this once. Yeah, you're literally going to be like, I can't believe you remember this.
Go.
In this area near Planet Hollywood, hidden back in this little like promenade place in between MGM and Planet Hollywood, was a Chili's.
Oh yeah.
Now you and I were maybe it was so late and we could, anyway, I got on the app. I ordered some food and we just took it back to the room.
I remember that now.
That's a good hack, a good tip for everybody.
And that flies contrary to what we always say, is that don't order from a chain if you're out of town. But I remember something happened. We couldn't get food. It's not like, it's like nothing was working. It's like, there's a Chili's and we were so pressed on time. It was so late. We had to eat before we fell asleep. It's like, you know what? We could get that order. That's absolutely right. I remember that. So
that's a good hack. And we don't recommend doing that all the time, but if you find these little places like the CVS or this little like you have options.
You absolutely do.
For sure.
Good call. I forgot about that.
They have some other stuff over there. They used to have, I don't know if it's still there. Everything's changed because of COVID.
Right.
But like Twin Peaks, they had a Twin Peaks there. We went up there one time in that little area, and you walk up the stairs to get into Planet Hollywood instead of down from the ground level.
Right.
And we got really, really good margaritas.
Yeah.
And so it was like, one of those
cheap little margaritas that come out of a machine or something like
exactly.
that.
So anyway. All right, that's all I got for this area.
That's the middle part of the strip. Now we go to the south part of the strip.
Yes.
Now the south part, I'm just going to go ahead and list all the places first, because there's a lot of different food options. But here's the places when we tend to go to the strip. There's some really good stuff there. And we always tend to say, if not the middle, down the south part. And the reason is, I love some of these places.
Yes.
There is a corner of the strip that has New York, the MGM Grand, the Tropicana, and the Excalibur.
Yes.
And south of the Excalibur is the Luxor and then Mandalay Bay. So by the time you hit all those, and I think I read once that those, if you put the I guess now the 6 of those together, you have more hotel rooms than the entire city of San Francisco.
Oh my gosh. I don't doubt it.
It's an insane number of rooms, a lot of bodies there. So now we're at the south part of the strip. And this is also a food lover's paradise.
This is the part or the place I've spent the most time in.
Yeah.
And so I'm very familiar with all of the stuff there. One of my favorite places to stay ever in Vegas is the MGM Signature Towers, because there's not a casino in it.
Yes.
And I kind of like actually staying somewhere where there's not a casino, because you get more amenities with your room. And I'm just kind of like that. Like, anyway, so it's walkable to get to MGM for sure.
Yeah.
And they do have their own pools and everything. But I will say this, MGM and that area has some of the best food and some of the best drinks, in my opinion, in all of Vegas.
They really do. MGM does a great job.
We have eaten at Wolfgang Puck's in MGM like multiple times.
Right.
We actually got a food credit there once, maybe twice.
Yeah.
How many times have we gotten food credits
I don't know.
there?
We've got it's a couple of times, but that has happened before where it's like, we just got food, and we'll go into the details on that.
Yeah.
But basically, what happened? I'll just tell you right now. We were in a line for a long time, and the receptionist couldn't help us, and it was, and she felt like she's inconveniencing us. She goes, "Tell you what," and we were there like 45 minutes. Something off had happened with her computer system.
Yes.
Blah 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 blah. We were impacted, and the next thing you know, she's like, "Tell you what, you want a food credit?" We're like, "Yeah, have you seen us eat?" And she goes, "Here's 100 bills.
Oh my gosh.
To go to Wolfgang Puck," and we went.
It was amazing.
Yeah, so really good food there.
Yeah.
And clearly a lot of great restaurants.
I will say the MGM Grand Buffet was good too. That was the buffet that we went to where they were starting lunch and ending breakfast, or it was overlap somehow. And so we horked in on all of that.
Yes.
Like we were like, oh, we can have both. And so it was really good.
Yes.
And it was really nice and clean and just a really good buffet.
Right.
They used to have a Rainforest Cafe in MGM. I don't think they do anymore.
Don't think so.
Oh, it was my favorite. I think
was
it's the
nice.
sports book now.
Probably.
They have a bigger sports book now.
Yeah. Oh, it's huge. It's huge.
Here's a nice little tip. There is a candy store in between MGM and when you walk over there's an overpass, a pedestrian walkway between the two casinos that goes over to New York.
Right.
And there's a little candy shop there.
That's right.
And you can buy all these little candies and mix and match in your bag.
Mm-hmm.
And every time we go, we get cherry sours and other stuff that you like.
Love that stuff.
Yeah. There's Emerald's, which is in MGM. I hope it's still there. It was good. I've eaten there.
Right.
I liked it. And there's two places that I really, really want to go to. And it's Tom Colicchio's Craft Steak and Joel Rubichon's La Atelier, or just his regular restaurant. Mm-hmm. But we haven't made it there yet.
Not yet.
That's life goals.
We're coming back.
Yeah.
Other good restaurants in other casinos in the southern end of the strip.
Luxor Food Court there's a lot here. Popcornopolis. That's a good tip for everybody if you just want a snack. Yeah. You get to mix and match popcorn.
Oh yeah,
so that's
crazy
fun.
flavors there too.
But one of our all-time favorite Irish restaurants is Reraw.
Yes.
And we've been there multiple times and it's been amazing.
No problems with that place at all.
That's technically in Mandalay Bay, but it's counted because they're connected. Like it's the food court in between.
And that's the thing is like there's a food hallway that you walk through to get from Luxor to Mandalay Bay. And so when you're and it's indoors, by the way. And so you're walking through, it's like, oh, here's shops, here's food and all stuff. So they're connected.
Yeah.
You know?
So speaking of Mandalay Bay, one of the best meals we ever had was in Noodle Shop, I think is what it was called. And it was just lots of like ramen and like Asian and like it was just really good Asian cuisine.
Really good stuff and not that expensive either.
Yes.
Yeah, that was really a good value that we found.
Michael Mina's strip steak is in there. That's life goals. I want to do that. And then we also almost ate at House of Blues because we were going to see a concert.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that for a second?
Oh boy. So here's what happened. Last New Year's Eve, we decided David Lee Roth was former lead singer of Van Halen.
Yeah.
And I listened, guys, that's the music I listen to. I listen to Van Halen, Judas Priest, AC/DC. It was, count me in, I'm there front row.
Yeah.
I listen to it all the time, every day, I think. So what happened, he was going to do his farewell shows. Everything was good. And then we got there. We
booked a trip around this,
We booked a trip around this. We had other stops as well. It's like, well, let's sneak in Las Vegas. So we did that. And turns out the night before he canceled, they were saying it was COVID, but who knows? So basically, we went all the way out there. And that's when it's like, you've got to be kidding me.
Were you going to talk about this later, like in the show?
Yeah, it's basically, it's one of those things about how you plan. And it's all about pivoting what you want to do.
Well, we'll pick this back up in a second.
Yeah, what we did, but we went down there. But the good news is that we also found great places to eat to spend our time.
Yeah, because it was supposed to happen. The concert was supposed to happen at House of Blues. That's where we were going to eat, but we ended up just like doing something else.
Yeah, I think with the noodle place.
That's what we did, and it was really good.
And the noodle, so a happy accident worked out very, very well.
At Excalibur, they have a Johnny Rockets, which I've eaten at, and a Baja Fresh, which I've eaten at.
Yes.
And both of those were good. And we went to the Excalibur buffet, and that's where they had all the free beer. And I just got way so like too full, and I was so just like I can't eat another bite. So actually, I'm sorry, Excalibur, but your buffet is it doesn't stand out in my mind very much. But your beer does.
I don't remember a thing. Oh
No,
no.
I'll tell you this: the Excalibur buffet, even beer aside, it's really good.
It was good, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wow, this is good, and it's huge.
Yeah,
it's a massive, massive buffet. So highly recommend that one.
So the
for
last,
food or drink, either way.
Yeah, the last is New York. Mm-hmm. There's a great piano bar there, and because you don't think of New York without a good piano bar.
That's very true.
Yeah, and then I've eaten at Gallagher's Steakhouse, which was yum. And they had, it's just a steakhouse, and you can see steaks hanging, and they're aging, and it's just a whole thing. And then they have a Coyote Ugly in there, which is fun to go. It's just a bar where girls dance on the bar, and it's fun.
Again, no problem with that.
But I didn't know if you wanted to talk really quickly about the Luxor buffet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, tell you what. The Luxor buffet, let's go ahead and talk about the Luxor buffet right now. We're going to do this a little bit out of order simply because we've talked about a lot of food stuff and the buffet there. When we went to David Lee Roth and didn't get to go see David Lee Roth, we had to go to the Luxor buffet because at one point it's like we need to go eat something.
Right.
Normally, whenever there's unlimited food, I tend to have a pretty good time. The Luxor buffet is one of those things that I cannot recommend at all.
Oh, man.
It was hugely, massively I'm talking to you, Mr. Luxor, or Bob Luxor, whatever the hell your name is.
Bob Luxor.
Bob Luxor, in charge of Luxor. Yeah, Bob and Ray, the Luxor brothers. I'll tell you what, it was the worst buffet I've ever. I went out there. It's like I need something to eat now. Because no, I mean
That's true.
It's like, is there an Arby's in the neighborhood? Because it was just. The food was not good. It was not plentiful. It's like, I don't know who's working here, what shift of people is putting food out, but it simply wasn't there.
The problem for me was I specifically wanted peel and eat shrimp. And I went to get the peel and eat shrimp. We had paid for this buffet. Mm-hmm. That is what I wanted. And we go, and there is no peel and eat shrimp. I'm waiting for the peel and eat shrimp. Where are you? Just waiting. Still waiting. They never brought the peel and eat shrimp. It was like they sold a buffet with one thing just never going to be refreshed.
Yeah.
Or brought back out. I was like, what? And it was the one thing I wanted.
Yeah, and I think the buffet was like $28 each or something like that. We want to get in a damn salad.
Yes, exactly.
And the salad, I can make a better salad at home, and I'm no great salad chef, or my name's not Caesar making a salad. It's like, no way, this was god-awful stuff.
We don't usually complain a lot, and we're pretty easygoing, but this was pretty darn bad.
When a buffet has 100 items and all of them are either bad or not there, that's a poor buffet.
That's pretty.
So it's like, no. We're so that's one of those don't things. But we had to jump ahead in the line on this because Luxor, look, you really let us down on that one. That was bad. That was awful.
Moving on. We got to get that bad taste out of our mouth.
Let's rifle through some good stuff real quick. Yeah. There's other good stuff you can do.
Sure.
Okay. So now we're going to go off the strip. We're going to take a cab, Lyft, Uber, however you get down there. We're going to go downtown to the Fremont Street Experience.
I love it.
Holy moly. This is where the casinos, the table limits are less.
Yes.
So if you want to be a lower dollar
nickel
game.
slots.
Seriously.
2 words. Nickel slots.
It's like, if you think of Binion's World Series of Poker, Binion's is down there.
Yeah, that's fun.
And all sorts of great, I think Four Queens is down there, and you have all these old time casinos. And the cool thing is the Fremont Street Experience, they've made, basically it's covered now with like this huge neon lit show. It happens on the hour, every hour in the evening.
Yeah.
It is spectacular. It's free. So get down there. Seriously, Fremont Street Experience is wonderful, and the food is cheaper. And if you're, and I want to say you have to be on a budget to enjoy it. We go down there. It's a lot of fun.
Old Vegas, baby.
That's it. It's old Vegas.
It's old Vegas, baby. This is where some of the first casinos were built, right?
Yeah.
And so, I can't think of any of there was a really tall one. I don't remember. Anyway, like I saw a show there once, but I think they've since demolished it.
There's one, the Cowboy was up there, and they took the Cowboy down, put the Fremont Street Experience over it and all that. But here's the deal. It looks wonderful. Yeah. It's clean. It's well lit. It's a lot of fun. I highly recommend Fremont Street Experience because, that was old Vegas.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, go down there, park the car, check it out and all that stuff. There are some other things you should do when you're in Las Vegas.
Go to a show, yo. Like it's like have a good night going out to a show. I'm not big on shows. Like I actually, that's not totally true. It's just that I always get caught up doing other stuff, and then I don't make it to a show. So I don't make it a priority, but I should, because there are shows I want to go to, and I bet they're great. I've been to 1 or 2, and so I should probably go to more, but go to a show.
Okay. The shows I've been to, not David Lee Roth concert. Thanks, Diamond Dave. Oh, brother.
That was a bad day for you.
It was a lousy
concert and a bad buffet.
And a bad buffet.
Oh, man.
Instead of seeing David Lee Roth, how about just eating absolute yuck stuff? Oh, Luxor. Okay, shows I have gone to.
Yeah.
Mystère.
Oh. How was that?
Cirque du Soleil's original show. Fantastic.
Perfect.
And they're still running it. And I saw this 30 years ago. I think it's their oldest show and it's still going on. It's a really, really powerful show. You will enjoy that a lot. Starlight Express, that was on roller skates, and they're no longer doing it anymore because it was about trains and they had songs about freight. freight. It's like, it didn't really catch on, but it's on roller skates. Cool to watch.
Yeah.
And also went to see Tournament of Kings. That's the jousting medieval thing in the basement of the Excalibur, which is an insane amount of fun where they bring you food and no silverware and you have to eat like they did back in the medieval times.
Okay.
That's good stuff. So those are my shows. What did you see?
I saw Tony and Tina's wedding. I believe it was at Planet Hollywood at the time. And it was pretty darn good. It's a fake wedding. So you're participating in the play, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
And you're, a guest at their wedding, and they come out while you're in line to get in, and they actually talk to you like you're such and such's cousin such and such, and you get like immersed and caught up in being
crazy.
in the wedding. Yeah. And then at the end you get to go through the buffet line and be like any other wedding, and there's dancing and there's drama because Tony and Tina have like family drama and drama between them.
Weddings always have drama.
Exactly.
That's why they're there.
So it was kind of a fun interactive show.
Okay.
And then I've done this one twice.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there was a show you and I forgot that I'm about to just bring up.
Go.
That's our dog. If you keep hearing that in the background,
Yeah,
our dog is up here and is shaking.
Yeah,
she's like,
she's
has
just
dogs
waggling her
like
ears. And by the way,
shake.
here's the deal: if you watch it on YouTube, sometime you'll see a dog go wandering through the shot. That's Heidi.
Hi.
Anyway,
yeah.
the shows.
So we went to that rock show. Do you remember that?
Yes.
With the Legends of Rock or
Legends
whatever.
of Rock.
So that
was
fun. Yeah, and it's bands that are acting as other bands like White Snake or like whatever, and they're playing the songs of it's like 80s like hair metal.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was fun. Another show that I've gone to twice is the Rat Pack is Back.
Right.
And I've seen that in like 2 different casinos, and it was really fun. It's like 1950s, 60s, like all the songs that they used to do. Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin.
Yeah, so you
I
get that
love
stuff.
that stuff. And you get like a proper steak dinner like in the 50s.
Nice.
It was really cool.
Okay.
Yeah, so but people go and see Love, or they go and see like what's popular right now, like something that's big.
Well,
like
the other
whatever.
thing is that when they have residencies, like Britney Spears had a
right.
residency, Celine
Exactly.
Dion had one. I don't know if they
Yes.
still have them or not, but
Right.
it's I think Adele was going to have one. I don't know if she did it or
Right.
not.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of who you want to see. There's something there for every single taste.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, go see a show.
Yeah.
Or a concert or whatever. I actually saw Meatloaf, by the way. I saw Meatloaf in concert.
Yeah.
And this was, again, long ago, but great show.
Yeah.
So there's that. A couple other things we recommend just in passing. If you like sports, Vegas is the place to go. Sports books, like you were talking about, MGM Grand has an amazing sports book. So if you
That was fun.
And here's the deal. You can just go down and sit
We've bet on some games.
Yeah, and you can go sit and watch the games because they're playing them on like 1 billion screens.
I don't know how this ends up happening every time, but we're always there when there's some college football game that we're invested in. Like it's like some team you like or I like.
Yeah.
And so we happen to be there while they're playing in a big game.
Yeah.
And so we're like, let's go put a few dollars on it.
Yeah, let's bet on these guys.
Yeah. And so that's always fun.
Yeah, so there was that. And then, of course, one thing, and this is just like a sidebar thing, the monorail, Las Vegas has a monorail of all things, and it basically goes up and down the strip. So let's explain. It's parallel to the strip, but not on the strip.
Right.
But if you want to get a monorail day pass, this is one way to avoid walking the whole way.
Right.
The southern terminus, good word, is
terminus.
It's at the MGM Grand. You can get on that, and then you can ride it all day. And you also have like trip passes or something like that, or an all-day pass.
That's a really good tip.
Yeah. So if you want to do that, the monorail it's a good way. When I was a local, especially, it's a good way to get around if you need to.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then did you want to talk about some off-strip restaurants?
Yeah, I forgot about the off-strip restaurant.
Give me the deeds.
I forgot all about that. We're going to eat off the strip as well.
Yes. Let's
So
talk about that really quickly.
What do you got?
Don't be afraid to go off the strip. We should have segued from the Chili's tip into this one. But here's the deal. We don't rehearse this, y'all.
Oh, no.
So this is just what you get.
It's a live show. We're just and we got like 1 million things I tell you about, so we're just going to go blah, blah, blah
exactly.
right now.
So no, don't be afraid to go off the strip and eat at some restaurants because there's some really good stuff.
Yeah, and
there's go ahead.
No, I was going to mention a couple that we've hit the last time we were there. Delhi Indian cuisine. Holy moly!
Oh, if they're listening, oh my gosh, you guys, it was some of the best Indian food I've ever had.
Yes,
they had a buffet. And it's the largest Indian buffet I've ever been to.
Oh, it's massive.
And I'm gonna say this: we have been, because we went for New Year's and it was still COVID-y.
Yeah.
They had a huge restaurant and it was socially distanced and it was amazing seating and everything was delicious. I give this restaurant 1 million stars.
Yeah.
Like, it was so worth it.
Yeah. So Delhi Indian cuisine is great. Right across the street from, I think this is on Maryland Parkway, by the way. If you're looking at your map.
Yeah.
Sakana Sushi.
Yes.
And this is a wonderful place where Sakana Sushi, it is unlimited sushi, but you sit down, they bring you a menu, you order off the menu, and then they're just like, okay, we'll bring it, and they keep bringing it to you until you stop eating.
Yes, and so it's a good way to go to a sushi quote unquote buffet, because it's not.
Right.
But it is like that. It's just that they're bringing it to you, but it's a good way to not waste.
Yes.
Like, you get what you eat what you get, and they don't bring you anymore unless you're going to eat it.
Yeah.
And it's fresh and it's sushi. It should be done that way.
You eat what you want, but you take what you get. You get what you want and take what you eat, or something like that.
Whatever
it is. It's like they will bring it to you on demand.
And instead of like a typical sushi buffet where they only make certain kinds of things,
these guys make everything.
They make everything, and they make special things.
Yes.
And so it's very good.
Yes, so definitely check that out. If you want to do a totally different flavor, the Hofbrau House.
Oh, man. We've been there multiple times.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite places ever. This is across from, is it House of Blues or something?
Yeah, it's down in that area.
Yes,
Yeah.
It's really cool. No, not House of Blues. What is, there's a casino across from it.
Right.
Or it's like a smaller one.
Yeah.
Anyway, Hofbrau House, they just play music all the time, and it's all your German foods, and it's pretzels and sausages, and they even come out and you can ask them to give you a proper spanking with a paddle.
With a wooden paddle, and they only hit you once, but that's all you want. And the gal who comes out and does this, I mean, it's like...
And you take a shot.
And she comes out with a wooden paddle, and she has the most ripped, muscular forearms I've ever seen on a woman in my life, and she just wham lays into it, and I've had it done to me once.
Yes.
And it sent me into the next county. It is it's one of those things. So Hofbrau House, definitely been there a couple of times.
And everybody's dressed up in their lederhosen and all of their German winch costumes, and like
the German serving winch costumes that we're going for.
And bringing the steins of beer. Yeah.
These are a few of my favorite things. So, so those are some of the off places we've gone to.
Yes.
One place we wanted to go to, but we not, was the Shoku Ramen place.
That's a 24-hour ramen restaurant, and we will go there next time.
Yes.
It is highly recommended, and it's open 24 hours.
Yes.
And you can get ramen anytime you want, as many times as you want in a 24-hour period.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
We're going to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Yeah.
Are we good?
We're good.
We've recommended things?
We have.
Okay. Let's kick off things we don't recommend now.
Okay, let's get into
Now, here's the deal. These lists are shorter now, so if you think, wow, you guys have been going for a while, talk about things you recommend.
After you said you weren't going to be detailed. I'm like, sorry.
There's a lot going on in Vegas.
To share.
Things we do not recommend. One, you'll go to some of these places, and these guys will stop you. And it's like, hey, you're not from here. Do you want to get a timeshare?
Oh, God.
Do not take the timeshare marketing trip. Do not do it. We did it once. We had a whole day to burn, and we're like, yeah, sure, we'll do it. And they're like, and you'll get a free buffet pass and all this stuff. It is so not worth it. Absolute nightmare.
Did not
High pressure. We get there, and it's like, dude, we're not going to buy this.
No.
Yeah, but you go on vacation. It's like, dude, you don't know where we vacation. We vacation in countries you can't find on the map. We are not the target. No.
Well, we got talked into it because they were outside of the conference that we were at, and I thought, how bold is that?
Yeah.
To start trying to get conference people to come.
Yeah.
So I flat out said, I don't want to go, but if you want me to go, I'm just going to tell you right now, the answer is going to be no the entire time.
Yeah.
And they took me up on it.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, okay.
Yeah.
If you're going to take me up on it, the answer is no. And we told him as soon as we got there,
We're
the
not
answer
gonna
is
do this.
no. We actually tried to tell you the answer will be no, and you still signed us up.
Yeah, and after a while, it's like, okay, they left us alone, but we're stuck there, so we're just eating and drinking the whole time. Like, fine, we'll take the buffet passes.
For
We're
sure.
not being rude. It's like we told you from the get-go, this is a no.
It's a time suck. It's a waste of time. If you're on a super, super budget and you're young, or you just really are on a budget, then yes, go and sit through it and suffer through it. It's kind of funny.
If you want to, but
because you learn a lot about timeshares.
Yeah, but it's not. We're not going to do it.
But we're not going to do that again.
We're not
it's
the
a time
audience for
suck.
We one thing we recommend, we say don't do this, is plan your vacation around a single event that may be canceled.
Right.
And this is basically the David Lee Roth thing, because
Right.
I was really bummed out about that, simply because I love Van Halen and all of their albums. There's not a bad song on them, but this was one. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. So
I
a little
know.
bit bummed about
So
that.
don't plan,
Learn to pivot.
learn to pivot and don't plan around one thing because your heart may be broken.
I know. Waiting in line for a taxi at the airport. This particular thing for me, because, and it's now called Harry Reid Airport. To me, it's always going to be McCarran Airport, because it used to be McCarran Airport, and that's just where my brain goes. They have a wonderful thing there where when you get off the plane to get your luggage, there's a huge line of taxis.
Yeah.
I'm not against taxis. It's a really weird system. This is why I start doing Lyft and Ubers.
Oh, yeah.
Is really because of Las Vegas. The
Yeah.
taxi line, it's just the most bizarre thing ever.
I'll just
Personal thing for me.
I'll get a private car or take like a Lyft or an Uber. I just can't do the taxi line anymore.
No, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And the final thing we say, and still we didn't have many on this list.
No.
Things we don't recommend. Watching a TV show, and this one, you can do this. Here's the deal.
I don't even know if they still do this anymore.
What happened? This happened to us once. We went in and they said, and different casinos be like, "Hi, are you from out of town?" It's like, yeah, I'm staying in a room here. What do you think? I don't live across the street. And it's like, do you want to come watch like an episode of like CSI New York
or
or
like
something
it's like
that?
a pilot for a new show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hasn't aired yet, and they're getting feedback before they decide if they're going to green light the entire series
right.
or whatever.
So you're one of the
Yeah.
test markets. So what you have to do is you have to go there and you sit down in a comfortable room,
Mm-hmm.
you put on headphones, and you watch a show. And the show takes like 22 minutes. It's a
Right.
standard half-hour thing. And so you'll do that, and everything is good. And I think you get like $20 cash.
Oh yeah, it's nice. Like maybe if you do it once.
Yeah.
But I won't do it again. I've done it a couple times. I did do one where it was a couple hours long, and they gave me $50 or $75. And it was basically, they were testing out something they were going to do on Sega. It was like a new like Sega thing. So
Right.
I had to like watch a bunch of like Sega ads that they put together and then listen to them talk about, it was just a whole thing. And so it was more private. It was just my opinion in one room.
Right.
And then the other one is you go and you watch the pilot or the film, and it's just computers, and there's multiple people in there watching. But
Right.
I won't do it again because I just don't have the time.
Yeah. And for me, it was interesting. And here's the deal. Since we do some media stuff anyway,
Yeah.
for us to do it, we have to lie about our background.
I know.
Because they don't want people who've worked in the first thing they'll say is like, have you worked in the television industry? And I have
Right.
to, and I have. So I can't just say, no, because if you say yes, like, sorry, you can't do it. And you've worked
Right.
in the film business,
Right.
same thing applies. They
Right.
don't want people who have that sort of prior knowledge about what a shot is, so to speak.
Right.
So we don't recommend it, but here's the deal. If you have time to kill, and if it's an interesting show,
Yeah.
and you think, I do like a sitcom with, Adam Sandler or something like that or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, I'll watch
For
that.
sure.
Sure, go ahead, you'll make a couple of bucks.
The one we watched had Eric Stoltz in it. That's all I remember.
Right,
And then
right.
they never greenlit it, so
No.
we never saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't a particularly the bad show, but it's like, I'm not going to watch this.
Right.
I mean, it's like us watching TV. We just don't do it. So we go from that to the things that if we had money, think Last Vegas, which is a wonderful movie about some older gentlemen who are blowing out their lives at the very
Yes.
end. We've got unlimited bankroll. Let's go have some fun. Here's some of the things we'd be doing. Number one, we said before gazebo or a bungalow or something
Yeah.
like that. We did it about, we want to do the one at the MGM Grand.
I want to do the MGM Grand has extensive pools and
Yes.
just it's got like a lazy river, I think, that goes around it too. It's really phenomenal, and I want to get a bungalow there.
Right. We've
Yeah.
got to do that. And that's
Yeah.
good for the family and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The other thing, gondola ride. We mentioned this with the Venetian. They have gondola rides. We went once and we were pressed for time and the
Yeah.
vibe wasn't working for
Right.
us. But the gondola ride, and they do have indoor or outdoor.
Exactly. So I think that's what it was. We were pressed for time, and I couldn't decide which one.
Well, we're also pressed for time because I think they shut it down. Again, it was like New Year's Eve, and they said, well, we closed like 4 o'clock
right,
because they're
yeah.
closing traffic down, and so we were
Yeah.
rushing. It's like, we can't do that. And then David Lee Roth canceled anyway. And I had to go eat at the El Yucco Luxor buffet. I'm sorry, guys. It was awful.
It was pretty bad.
Oh,
I
it's
have to
just
say.
not good. A couple things we do think that, and this is not one that's going to be expensive or anything, but this is one I really want to do, simply because Marie wants wants to do it, and she can talk me into this, zip lining
It's true.
in downtown Las Vegas, because the Fremont Street Experience, by the way, they have zip lines that go under this sucker.
Yes.
And you can go flying around there. This sort of thing absolutely terrifies me. Marie really wants to do it, and I'll be talked into this in a second.
I think it would be really cool. The more I think about it, I'm like, well, now, I don't know. It's been a couple of years, but I would still do it. I think we should.
You just want to hear me screaming like a baby. Because there's no poker face here.
That's true.
You have one on here called Visiting the Neon Graveyard.
Yes.
What is that?
They have all of the old signs that have been in Vegas, or
Right,
I don't
right.
know. Maybe they just have some that people have done and they just have waiting there. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but I know it's old signs primarily, but it's a graveyard for all of the old neon, and you can walk around in it. And at night, it's really cool because they're all lit up.
Oh, that is hip.
I really
like
want to
this
do that.
idea
Yeah,
a lot. Okay.
that would be really cool.
Okay. We can do that. One thing, I actually plan to do this because we were married in Florida.
Yes.
And we were lovely. I would not take that ceremony
Lori
back for anything.
Wilson Park.
Yeah, that's right.
That was where I Dream of Jeannie, like where where the bottle was like landed.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the intro of the show or whatever. Yeah. Anyway.
That's where we got married.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I love you so much.
I love you, honey.
so here's what happened is that we got married there, but I always wanted us to get remarried and renew our vows.
I know.
In Las Vegas,
Yes.
only by an Elvis impersonator. Because if
would
I'm
be
going to do it, I'm
awesome.
going to do it right, damn it. And we went, and one year we got perilously close to making this happen, but I could not get all the logistics lined up at the very, very end. We had people coming in. There was family. We were trying to coordinate everything, and it just didn't happen.
Aw.
And I was kind of, well, between that and David Lee Roth, I've had a couple of bad experiences in Las Vegas. But the reality is I really wanted to do this because I thought it'd be a lot of fun. So I want to renew our
Yeah.
vows by an Elvis impersonator only because I'm classy like that.
That would be classic.
Yeah. So that's what I want to do. A couple other things, and now I'm going to skip down one because the most expensive thing is coming up next. So I want to do that one last.
Yeah.
Just because on our list, we want to have one fancy dinner at a Michelin-starred restaurant.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
And they have them there.
Yes.
And
That would be cool. I want an experience. I want to sit down and have an amuse-bouche, and then I want wine pairings, and then I want like a 5-course whole experience, and then I want like a cheese plate at the end, and I want champagne and like highfalutin coffees, and like, oh my God, that would just be amazing.
so what's the name of your husband that's going to spring for this? Because I haven't met this guy. Is he taller than me? As it happens. Yeah, I would like to do this too. We go to what pre-fee menus where
Yes.
it's like 8 course. They tell you what
Yes.
it's going to be, and it's like $500 a person or some crazy amount like that. I'd love to do this.
If you're listening, we are looking for sponsors.
Yeah.
And this is what your money will go towards.
Gordon Ramsay's like, I've got one of those. That's not just burgers. So yeah, let's bring it on.
Making me fatter and him happier. There you go. So whatever.
So we want to do that. We want to take a limo ride down the strip.
Yes, that would be fun.
You know, that'd be an absolute hoot. And you also want to do this. We want to stay in a high roller suite. One of the kinds like
man.
you've seen, like The Hangover,
Yes.
but one of these really over the top places.
Like a $4,000 a night, like a suite that has its own plunge pool that overlooks the strip.
Yeah.
With like multiple rooms and a pool table, and it's all like fancy with like electronic curtains and shades and a pool did I say pool table? All the things. It's gotta have all the things.
I want to stay where Motley Crue stayed. Okay.
exactly.
I mean, my suite has its own zip code. Okay. That's the suite that I want. So we want to do that once.
Yes.
And though I did say one of the more expensive things is down at the bottom, but this one would just last a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
I want to go, it's called Battlefield Vegas. The website is battlefieldvegas.com. And this is where you can do things like rent guns and go to a shooting range, just shoot stuff if you want to do
that's
that.
cool. Yeah.
You can also, I've never seen this before, and I really want to do this. You can pay them $2,500.
Oh my God.
They put you.
Talk about where are you getting all this money, sir?
What? Well, this is cheaper. Actually, no, I guess this is more than the dinner. But what?
But less than the room.
That's right. See,
This is how a marriage works, people. It's compromise.
circle of life. You give them $2,500, 2,500 American bills, and you know what you can do? They will give you a tank, and you can crush a car.
This sounds like so much fun, to be
Drive
honest.
over a car.
Yes. Oh my God.
And you have to call them in advance because they have to go find a car.
Oh my God.
And they park in the park. I've watched the battlefieldvegas.com. That's the website.
Man.
They have videos on there. And the fun thing is you want to do this now, don't you?
I kind of do.
So what happens is they have to find a car for you.
Oh, wow.
And then they put you in the tank and you just drive over it. Now, here's the deal. I know there's some Army guys going, I did this all the time when I was serving our country. Okay, but as a civilian, I would love to crush a car with a tank.
That sounds kind of cool. It's so much better than doing the sledgehammer to a car thing.
Yeah, that's
which
fun.
they do for a lot of charity events and things like that.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is driving a tank over a whole car.
Yeah.
I feel like Beavis and Butthead, like, yeah, do it.
Yeah, crush them. Yeah, smush. I'm Cornholio.
And TV for my bacon. Okay, that's all I remember from the show.
Are you threatening me?
Okay, yeah, that one was good too.
Shut up, Beavis.
But yeah, that brings out your inner Beavis and Butthead to drive a tank over a car.
Yeah, tanks for nothing. Anyway, we're going to move on because here's the deal. So that's the stuff we really want to do.
Did you really just say that?
What? Tanks for nothing?
Oh, wow. There you go.
Fine. You know, as much frivolity, mirth, and happiness as we have in Las Vegas, there are still times when you would think after all that, we would never, ever argue again in our entire lives.
Because we get along ever so well.
Yes, we do.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You know,
We just did Beavis and Butthead together. I'm pretty sure we get along pretty darn well.
After that, you think we never have an argument. Oh, no. A special time in the program right now. This is where Monica takes on Joey.
It's game on. It's time for Monica versus Joey.
Oh, boy. This is one of those happy things. We're going to argue about it. It all comes back. Okay, you know, friends, I'll be Joey, who's like, what are you doing? And Monica, who likes things done a certain way. Two great characters, and we're basing this entire argument on the motto from Las Vegas, which is, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yes.
Really? Now, I'll take the role of Joey this time. That's a refreshing change of pace. Yeah, it does. Once you do some Vegas, and I don't know if this is gambling or drinking or whatever happens out there.
Yeah.
Once you make the rule, pinky swear, you make the rule that you're going to Vegas with your buddies, your friends, or whatever. And by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, I don't know if anyone else has noticed this yet, but if you're watching on YouTube, if you look at Maria on camera right now, she has on a sash that says Bachelorette.
Always looking ahead. No, just kidding.
Oh, you wounded me.
Always planning.
You wounded me with your words. I have an owie right here in my heart now because of you.
Honey. I would never leave you.
What is that? What, and give up all this?
I know.
All this great stuff.
You married all this. Now you're just stuck with me.
So what happens? But what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I believe, as the Joey person with us, like, look, once you do this, if you all agree, pinky swear up top, it's like, hey, you know what? If you lose $1,000 or $100 or whatever, or if you drink too much, or if it becomes like a hangover movie type situation, you walk away and you never speak of it again. Monica, what's your take on this? Is there any residual doubt in your mind?
I really am a bad gambler. I'll just put it out there. I start to lose and then I panic. And then I'm like, but if I get like super, like I've played roulette before and won, I don't know, maybe the most I've won is $300 or $400.
Wow.
And I've been like, well, keep it going. And so, but that's very rare. Like I'm very conservative. And so, yeah, I don't want to, also I feel guilt the next day when I really blow it out and do something. And I'm like, oh, my liver hates me.
Yeah.
Or I'm so like, I had so much stuff, or I walked too much. All my joints hurt.
You're living in the past. That was yesterday. What are you talking about?
I know. I don't know. I'm just a little more cautious, I would say, than you are.
Okay. So the thing is, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Yeah, there might be residual poundage on your tummy. There might be residual lack of funds in your bank account.
Oh, gosh. I don't need any more lack of funds.
Just walk away.
Just walk away.
Just walk away and enjoy it.
Yes.
Okay, because Las Vegas is really, and I look at like what happens in Vegas should be a model for the rest of the world. It should be. Oh, go have some fun already.
No, really, you should.
Yeah, you know,
blow it out a little. I mean, that's what it's there for.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah.
But you know, I feel like, you know, don't do anything you'd be super ashamed of, because there are a lot of cameras out there, and we have a thing now called social media.
Oh yeah.
So you may end up on some sort of website with everyone knowing your business.
Yeah.
So that might be bad.
Yeah. And just as a very poor example, this is why you will never see me dance in public. Oh, it's the most horrifying. It's horrifying. It's like, is there a seismic tremor under the earth that's making him move? Oh, it's bad. Oh, it's blinding your eyes. Okay, well, you know, when we put this show together, not only did we look at extensive Las Vegas things that you could do, we also came across some ideas of things that's like, you know what? There are some really neat things that we do. We like to pass along to you as an informational thing. It is time right now for this travel nugget.
Ooh, I like a good travel nugget.
All right.
Nuggets abound. Nuggets abound.
Lay it on me.
We've already talked about things like being hydrated.
Sure.
We talked about comfy walking shoes. This is something you should do when you check into the hotel, by the way.
Oh, yes.
Really can't do this nonsense online. This is where you get a better hotel room. There are strategies. Here's the deal. When you go to like the MGM Grand or the New York, or Luxor or Mandalay Bay, Caesar, wherever you go, if you're on the Strip, especially,
yeah,
they've got a bazillion rooms, guys.
Yeah.
They really do. And there's a couple of strategies here. The number one strategy that we have, honestly, to get a nicer room is just be nice to people.
I know. It's true.
And what has happened is...
it's really great when the people in front of you are not nice.
Yeah.
And they're demanding and something has really made them so mad, they're taking it out on the person.
Yeah.
And then you're super nice.
Yeah.
It really helps.
Here's our experience. You once went, and this was when the last time we went to Mandalay Bay.
Yes.
And you went and you got up there, and again, it's the New Year's Eve thing or whatever, there for a night. And you came back with the room that was overlooking the Strip.
On New Year's Eve.
On New Year's Eve. So we didn't have to go outside to go
Nope.
see the fireworks. We could just look out and see the fireworks.
I just went up and I made the reservation. We sort of booked this at the last minute.
Right.
We
That's
actually
true.
had
That's true.
different plans for
We
going
did.
to see David Lee Roth. We were going to like jet in, jet out. I started looking at the traffic and the concerns with like, this is the first time the Strip was open again after COVID.
After COVID had wrapped up, yeah.
And so I got a little concerned and was like, we need to just stay. Like we were literally going to fly in and fly out.
Yeah, that was the initial plan, was fly in, see the concert, and get on the next flight at 6 a.m. the next day, which would have worked, but then he canceled the show and all this, and there was traffic, and it was cold, and it was incredibly windy. It was a lousy night to be outside, so you were right to get a room.
Well, one thing we didn't know was that, and I started looking into it, Lyft and Uber weren't operating near the Strip.
That's right.
And so I was like, a couple of days before, I was like, let's just find some. And we found an incredible deal. Yeah. And so even it being the last minute, it was an incredible deal. And so we ended up at Mandalay Bay.
Right.
And I made the booking on the phone and they said, when you get there, just ask. Yeah. So I just casually was like, I just wanted to ask because they mentioned it on the phone. What else do you have in my price range that might be a floor to give me something. Like, what can you do? Like, you know, she hooked us up. Yes. And so she was like, this is the last room on, higher floor on the side that you're on, and you'll be able to see everything. And I think she was like, but it is an upcharge, but I think it was only like $50. Yeah. And I was like, take my money. Yeah. Because it was perfect.
It was perfect. It was very nice. And if you ever look at Mandalay Bay, if you ever seen an image of it, we had the room basically on the corner, directly looking over or right past the Mandalay Bay sign, looking right up the Strip, so you could see all the New Year's Eve lights.
Yep, it
all
was
the fireworks.
awesome.
It was good.
We also scored $100 in food credits there too.
Yeah.
Because we went up and our sink was doing something weird, which actually it worked itself out within an hour. Yeah. Like it was making some sort of noise and then it stopped.
There's like some pressure.
But I took some video and I went down there and I was like, is this going to be going on all night? Because we need to get some sleep. And she was like, oh, something.
I said,
can you send somebody up? And she was like, we can try. And she was like, but here's just some credits. I was like, we'll put up with the noise. Like, but anyway, it went away.
Yeah, it went away and we still ate.
Yeah.
So there was that. And that's the thing is that, so you've had good luck with that.
It would just be nice. It's like if I went down there and I was just like, my sink is making a noise and I want a different room. Like they would have been like, I can't help you.
They want you to have a good time.
Yeah, they do.
What happened with me once, and you still have no idea how I did this.
Right.
We went to MGM Grand, which an MGM Grand is connected via walkway to the Signature Towers, by the way. So MGM Grand Hotel Casino is one thing, and then you take this long indoor hallway basically to the Signature Towers. You had to go, you had some friends checking in another hotel. You were helping them. Yeah. I said, tell you what, I've got this. So what I did is I go strolling up.
I laugh menacingly because I'm always like, huh.
Yeah.
It's just going to be what it is. If I was there, it would be better.
I got this.
No, you did great.
Don't worry.
You did great.
So I go up, and as soon as the little woman scoots away, they're like, hi, can we help you? It's like, why, yes, you can. Hi.
Okay, Frank Suave.
Hello. Rico Suave for a room, please. And so we talked about our feelings and all this stuff. And a couple minutes
You
later,
talked about your feelings.
I talked about her feelings. I made a personal connection.
Oh, well, there you go.
The result was this. We got the best room the Signature Towers has. Literally the best room. Because Signature
Yes.
Towers, there's 3 towers. We
Yes.
got the one further. We got tower number 3 or number 1, whatever is the furthest away from the casino.
Yeah.
We got that one.
Yeah.
Then you get in the elevator and you go up. You go up about 20 floors, and then you have the penthouse suites.
There's 2 levels of suites, by the way.
Yeah, there's penthouse suites, and there's the UPH, the upper penthouse suite.
suites.
We got upper penthouse suite. Then you walk down the hallway, all the way at the end, we got the corner upper penthouse suite that faces the strip
view.
Yeah.
Yes. And she said, and I had so many emotions I couldn't
You were
even.
losing. You're like,
I was
how
losing
did
my
you
mind.
do this?
I got there and was like, "How did you get this room?" And I was like, "What did you do?" Like, I was like, "Did you invoke the mafia, or like, what did you promise this woman?"
Rico
Like, I was
Suave.
like, "You're mine." But like, yeah, no, it was great. And
Rico.
I was asking we were down at the desk to do something, the
Suave.
concierge doing something later, and I was like, "This room is so amazing." And the person looked. And they were like, yeah, that's the best room in all of the towers.
Literally is.
I wrote the room number down somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've lost it since.
And the thing is, we had family in town
Yeah.
and all
Oh,
that.
yeah, that was so
I remember
funny.
this. We get in the elevator, and I hit the floor that says UPH, and they're like, yeah, right. Yeah, right. I'm like, no. And they think I'm kidding. We're going to stop on like floor number 6 or 4, please. La, 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 la. And they'll go, oh, yeah, come on in. And we go down and swipe the card. They're like, you're kidding. They walk us like, what?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we
Your
achieved,
family about died.
we leveled up to legendary status immediately.
I just remember trying to tell them, I didn't pay for this. I'm not that well, like, I do not have money like this to spend. This is an anomaly, but it happens.
Yeah.
And so that was our, like, this happens sometimes in Vegas moment.
It does.
You hear about this happening.
This was one of those
our
legendary
one.
things that
Yeah.
actually happened to us. So I
just
can
be
just
nice
say,
to people.
yeah, be nice and be
Yeah.
nice. And again, Rico Suave.
You can try the $20 bill.
There is a
Yeah.
trick called the sandwich trick, and here's what the sandwich trick is.
Yeah.
You get because they're going to need your ID and your credit card.
Right.
If you're up to it and you will roll the dice on this,
Yeah.
what you do is you fold a $20 bill a couple of times,
Yeah.
and you make a sandwich where the top part of the sandwich is your driver's license.
Yeah.
The bottom part of the sandwich is the credit card, and you slide a $20 bill in betwixt them.
Yes.
And you hand it over. Okay. Now here's the deal. What they can do, if they can upgrade you to a better room, it's like, okay, this is nice.
Yeah.
It's a bribe, but it's one of those bribes that even if the hotel manager walks by, he's going to be totally cool with it.
And then if they're like uncomfortable, then you just get your money back.
Yeah, if they say we can't help you. So if they can't get you a better room, what they might do is say, tell you what, we're going to waive the resort fees, which are like $38
right,
or
yeah.
$60 a night
Or
or
here's
whatever it is.
some meal vouchers.
Here's a voucher or something like that,
Yeah.
because they have discretion there.
Yeah.
So, and if you're up to it, just go, I'm just going to try this. If they can't help you out, here's the deal. They will give the money back.
Right.
Which the darndest thing is like, it's a bribe that didn't work. Well, okay, officer, I wasn't speeding. What do you want? Okay. So, but that's one of those tricks that we learned.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, and some people do that. We haven't really had to do that. If you're just pleasant and nice.
Yeah, it's true.
It works out okay.
Be personable.
Yeah, be nice. I
Be
mean,
nice.
seriously, they're
Yeah.
doing a hard job, okay?
Yes,
and they're
for
dealing
sure,
with a bunch
'cause
of jerks who just flew in from Ohio who are like,
We had a bad flight. It was bad.
you guys are being awful to these people.
I like how you just randomly picked Ohio.
Oh, I don't randomly pick Ohio. It's like people from Macon, Georgia. You kidding me? Ugh.
Well, we're not talking about drivers here.
No. Oh, yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh.
anyway, you could do it. So anyway, things just work out nicely.
Yeah, for sure.
And the final thing, because I know we got to run, but the final thing I got to say is that it always helps if you have pictures of your pet on your phone.
Oh, right,
Because
yeah.
you have this thing about you have pictures of the cats on the phone, and the next thing is, and suddenly it's like, oh, look, and here's my cat waiting for us when we get home. And suddenly, if it's a cat person you're talking to, upgrade.
Yes, it's true.
That being said, you know what? Is it time to just get to our final segment, dear?
It is, honey.
Because sometimes we look at all the things that are going on and we think, you know
Oh.
what? Sometimes there's just odd travel news. We got to relay to you, and we just go, we call it the guacamole segment.
What the holy guacamole are you talking about?
Okay, we play this game. We're not transfixed like some people we know, but we play this Wordle craze that's going
Oh
around.
man,
Wordle,
curse everyone that got us stuck on Wordle.
if you don't know what Wordle is, basically the 10-second version is this. It's a word challenge. It changes every day. You have like so many tries to guess a word that has 5 letters. And if you start with like just a word that has like sword, SWORD, you put that in and it's like, oh, there's the D, but it's yellow, which means it's in the word, but not in the right place. The S is in the right place, so it's green. And it's just like one of those elimination processes. It's a fun little game. It actually started, by the way, last November 1st, it started, this guy named Josh Wardle, he made up Wordle, which is kind of cute. He did this. He's a software designer, engineer guy in Brooklyn, New York. He makes it for his family in the WhatsApp group. On November 1st of 2021, 90 people played it.
Oh, man.
By the end of January 2022, 3 million people were playing it a day.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so it just went incredibly huge. The New York Times paid him like paid him $1 million plus for this thing.
That's
now.
nuts.
So it's like good for him.
Why can't I think of something like that?
I don't know, but this guy's awesome. Here's what they have now for the What the Guacamole. Scott's Cheap Flights has now done their own thing. And by the way, just saying, the Josh Wardle guy, what he did is that this is an open source software programming thing. So anyone can use this.
Yeah.
So they didn't steal it. He's like, yeah, you can make your own. Scott's Cheap Flights did it, and they're doing theirs with airport codes.
Oh, no, I can't.
3-letter airport codes.
No, I can't.
So unlike Wordle, which has like actual words with vowels, this can be anything because it's like, what's Toronto? YYZ?
I don't know.
How are you going to pick YYZ?
No, but we know some pilots. I bet they love that.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
I
but
just
it's
feel like the audience is too limited.
are you out of your brain to try this?
I assume everyone wants to travel, aspires to travel, has traveled, and so you might know some airport codes.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just a little too like limited of an audience.
Absolutely not. And they don't even make real words out of it, which makes it more of a challenge. And by the way, if you want to play, it's called Airportal. Airportal, it's an actual thing. Check it out sometime. The one I'm looking forward to is Letteral. It's letter L-E. You guess the letter of the alphabet. You have to guess the letter of the day.
Stop it.
I'm serious.
I can't.
It's 1 letter a day.
No.
And you have 26 tries.
Okay. You know what?
Are you done with me now?
The answer is no.
Okay. We'll stop
I
at
got
Wordle.
kind of sucked into Wordle because of seeing my friends post on social media about their attempts. And so I'm like, okay, I've bought into a little bit. We've tried Quordle.
Quordle, where you do 4 simultaneously.
Yeah, and that one's okay. We kind of look a little forward to it, but you and I also are fans of waking up and doing a good crossword together.
Yeah, that's true.
So, it's in my old age, that's what I do now. I have my coffees and I do my crosswords, and now I do my Wordle.
We're not doing Airportal. Thanks for
But
the
we're
offer,
not
Scott
doing
Chiefs Flights. We're not
Airportal.
doing that. On that note, let's wrap it up for Las Vegas. It's been it's one of those fun things where, hey, you know what? We tell you, thanks for listening. And of course, you can check us out on all the social media. And the mothership is always VocaVacay.com. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. And remember, vacation like it's your job. And hey,
Live vicariously through yourself. And I have to say, if everybody remembers our last show, one last thing.
Yeah.
I said we were coming to them in 4K.
Yeah.
4K. And I got my aspect ratios wrong. So I hope if you're watching our webcast
on YouTube
that I got it right this time. OMG.
Make it happen. That's Bree over there.
That's Frank.
Love ya.
Miss ya.
Mean it. Bye.
Don't forget to click subscribe. As always, #Voca Vacay at Voca Vacay and visit VocaVacay.com.